Okay, test and tune number 2. Here's the variable that's different though. Everything's exactly the same except the temperature. The temperature is way colder today. I mean, it's like 50 degrees out, right? So I want to just do another little run and just see if we can physically see or hear a difference between the run on the hot day we did just the other day versus now. Just to get some, data here. Okay, so we pretty much narrowed down that I think it doesn't like to be loaded, like right off the bat, right? Like normally I would bring it up to, about 1800 RPM or so, maybe 2 grand, kind of bring it up right up against the torque converter and then go. I don't think it likes it because it doesn't have the torque. It likes to have that like ramp up into the converter. So right around 800, 900, 1000 and just flat punch it seems to like that best. And it will flash up to 3000 and then it like hits that wall for a while and then it will start going. Really kind of strange. I mean, it flashes up to 3 grand, right? And you can see it in the clip there. It'll flash up to 3 grand, then it'll stay right there until you get moving, and then it'll go whoa. Need to work on the bottom end torque. It got a few ideas on how to do it too, so stay tuned for that. But overall, I really like the way the suspension's kind of moving. You can see the front end really raising up. That's, well, that's important because eventually when we do get sticky tires on the back, that's gonna aid, you know, in the, and it's working with the tires spinning now, so when you actually hook, it's gonna really work out really well, I think. And really having it, like, you know, ramp up into the converter works better for the suspension anyway, because we have slapper bars, remember. If we're loading the car right up against the converter, well, the slapper bars are already kind of twisting up, whereas if we just kind of shock them, then they really, you know, just whip up and, you know, make the whole rear end work a little bit better. Again, these tires really, they spin, you know, they're not sticky at all. Once we're on either sticky pavement, like, you know, a track, which I still need to get to, by the way. Number one thing keeping me back is I need a helmet, right? Like, you know, I need a helmet, but I need, like, a cheap helmet, because I don't, you know, want to spend $100 on a helmet. So I'm just kind of combing through Facebook Marketplace for one of those at the moment. And I need to get all the coolant out of the radiator and block and put water in it, because the track obviously doesn't want coolant. Those are the number two things keeping me back. And the kiddo, you know, I got to bring her with, so I need another person help, and, you know, all that kind of stuff too. You know, single dad life, right? But we'll probably get new guy's guitar, Tom, up there, and he'll help watch the kiddo, bring his kids, and we'll make a day out of it and get it to the track and see an actual physical number, right? But what we're learning on the street is, you know, very valuable information before we get to the track. I mean, like, you know, the whole bogging situation, not bogging, but it hits that wall, right? It goes, whoa, you know. That's not going to get any better at the track. We know that, because the tires are spinning now, and it's still, you know, you would think spinning tires would just, you know, wing the RPM, but it, you know, we got to fix the bottom end. Having grip is just going to exaggerate that problem, not help it. So, yeah, I mean, there's still things to do, but, you know, testing is a great help, because at least now we can see areas we need to improve on, and areas that, well, we did pretty good on so far, like the suspension. But speaking of suspension, there is one thing I kind of want to look into, right? And that's these front shocks. Last year we had gotten these new Calvert 9010 shocks, working really good, but I feel like we're not using its full potential right now. Let me show you why. Take a look at all this space up here, right? I feel like all of this is, I mean, granted it's not too much, but I mean, it's a fair bit of more travel the suspension could potentially rise up, but we're just limiting it by all of this, you know, thread sticking out and these two nuts and everything else. Now, the reason it's like that is because down here there's a machined stop that this plate rests on the actual shock itself. We need to acquire a spacer about this length to stick underneath there to go in between this machined stop and this plate right here, in order to bury this shock further down and allow that much more travel. There's two nuts right here. One is, well, basically a jam nut of the other to keep it from backing off. I kind of want to eliminate that and try something different. I feel like if we put maybe a lock washer under here, something, or an interference nut, kind of like on the rockers, potentially we can eliminate this other nut, and then we'd have even more travel. So I'm going to work on that. So you might see that in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. I'll catch you next time.